My name is Salome Jordan and I'm a recent graduate of the University of Pupils, where I studied for my Bachelor of Science in Biochemistry and Chemistry. I currently tutor students from Forms 1 to Form 6 in additional mathematics, chemistry, biology, general science, and mathematics. I'm also an activist for persons with disabilities. Well, at the age of 8 months old, I was diagnosed with a disability called Cerebral Palsy, which is caused from a lack of oxygen to the brain either before, during, or after birth. And as a result of this disability, this affects the movement of my body as it affects involuntary tremors of the hands, legs, and head. So from an early age on, I realized that there were two problems in society as I tried to get healthcare. One of the main problems were the lack of specialists in the public healthcare system and the exorbitant prices of those specialists in the private healthcare system. So from the age of 4, I made up my mind to go to school and be an excellent student with the hopes of one day becoming a doctor and eventually helping the lives of many specialist individuals like myself. However, early on in my education career, I realized that those problems were not of major concern as the one I faced all my life. Discrimination was and still is a major part of my life. My parents struggled many years to get me into preschool, and it was a series of closed doors until one decided to take a chance on me. There I was always seen as a child with a limp, the child nobody wanted to play with. It was as if somebody touched me, they would catch what I have. However, I was never allowed to partake in any school activities, and then the challenge of primary school came. There was a series of another closed doors until one decided to take another chance on me. There I was still seen as a child with a limp, and I was often bullied, as children at that age were very cruel. I would often spend my lunch alone or with the help of many teachers. At the age of 8 years old, I was referred to a child psychologist, which further diagnosed me as being a slow learner, which was not the case. So she recommended that I be removed from my primary school and enrolled in a learning center. That was immediately done, and I began that learning center immediately. After a year, I asked my parents if I could return to my former primary school, as I realized that I was not living up to my full potential at this learning center. So I returned, and when I returned, I was determined more than ever to prove everyone wrong and be the best I can be. I studied hard, and at the time of SCA, I passed for my first choice school, holding in Convent, Spain. At that time, the principal there was dedicated to her students and very interested in my well-being. There, I believed that anything I wanted to do was possible, and I would eventually attain my dream of becoming a doctor. I was allowed to thrive, and my love for science grew immensely as I saw science as a way to improve the life of many special needs individuals like myself with the advancement of technology. I was also involved in many sporting activities, including marching for Sports Day, and I was involved in clubs such as Student Council and Environmental Club. However, at Form 3, where it seemed that my career in science would not have been a possibility due to my lack of coordination in my arms, I was despondent. However, a chairlift was installed to take me up the stairs, and a student aide was hired to help me physically write my exam and my notes in class. The student aide was also responsible for physically performing lab work within the lab. So I never did lab work until my enrollment at the University of the West Indies. When I enrolled in the University of the West Indies, the issue of accessibility was addressed immediately. I was learning to record every semester to ensure that I was able to record my classes, and every exam time I would get extra time for my exams and I would get a scribe so that my exams could be written legibly. However, all of my classes were arranged so that it could be on the ground floor or it could be in a building where there was easy access to an elevator. But the chemistry building, on the other hand, had no elevator and it was 3 flights of stairs, and the chemistry lab could not be relocated. So I would stay at the bottom of the stairs and I would wait till one of my classmates would go into class, and I would kindly ask if they could assist me on their way to class. And since I've never done lab work until my enrollment at UE, I had to independently learn for myself how to perform this lab work accurately and precisely. In the final year of my university life, I was privileged to be employed as a student life and development department. There my communication skills and my leadership skills improved as I was called upon to voice my opinion. I was also called upon to speak as the voice of many disabled persons on campus, and there my love for advocacy grew as I realized that my life in itself is a form of advocacy, but I need to go out there and show persons that if I can do it, anyone can. In university and in secondary school, I was privileged to acquire many accolades. 2 of those accolades that I received in UE were a scholarship award, and I had the Biochemistry Award for most outstanding personal achievement. My family life was never one of riches. My mom has never worked a day in her life, and my dad was the only breadwinner as long as I can remember. Unfortunately, due to recent circumstances, he himself has been unemployed. So, we had never owned a vehicle for my entire life. So, traveling was a burden I often had to bear. To get to UE, I would take 3 stages of transportation every day, including that of the priority bus route. My dad and I would make it our business to leave home extra early so that we could reach to school on time, and he would have time to reach back in Port of Spain for his allotted time to start work. I was never privileged to afford textbooks. The textbooks for my degree program is very expensive, so I would stay in the library hours and write down my notes, as the textbook for my program could not be loaned out from the library. Discrimination is still a part of my life as I struggle to look for employment. I've been on many interviews, but none have been of success due to my disability. However, I am determined to continue my search and continue to inspire and motivate the students I tutor in the form of science so that they can see the importance of science in our everyday life and in the coming future. Don't let anyone determine what you can and can't do. When I was 15 years, when I thought that I would not be able to pursue a career in science as I couldn't physically do lab work, nobody could have told me that I would perform lab work now. So I would tell my 15-year-old self, never let anybody underestimate you. But I see a lot of innovative material in biochemistry and chemistry. One, that I could eventually become a doctor and change the life of many individuals like myself. So when I teach students from Forms 1 to Form 6 the importance of science in today's world, and I see their excitement, and if I'm teaching a topic for a while and they don't understand it, and then I change my way of teaching and they do understand it, that motivates me. You need to make the sacrifices required to get where you want to go. It's not an easy road, and not always is, but at the end of the road, it's a rewarding road.